What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Camper Report. And go live on X. No. Remove. All right, cool. I don't know why. All right, we're live just on YouTube. I wanted to stream to X as well, but we are here. 49ers free agency, NFL free agency, crazy day one. We're here to break it all down. I wanted to go live so much earlier. I got done with practice early. I got done with dinner early. And then I ran into some issues. And so we're here at 9:15 Eastern time on the East Coast. And I mean, there's a lot to talk about. Niners signing Mike Evans. Some of the winners, obviously, Maxx Crosby going to the Ravens. I mean, there is. Hold on, I'm trying to look here. There's a lot to talk about. I'm just saying, like, where should we start? And I guess let's just start with the biggest news, I guess, of the day for the 49ers. Nope, not that one. This one. Let's go back and cancel that out. All right, Mike Evans to the 49ers. This fan up here is annoying the shit out of me. There's a fan in this room that is like really loud, so I cannot hear myself that well. But anyway, Mike Evans to the 49ers. Pros and cons. So first off, he is old and he has had issues with his hamstring injury. We have the 49ers have the worst graded training staff in the NFL. And so from that perspective, we are trading for one of a top 10 wide receiver, maybe of all time. He broke Jerry Rice's record of consecutive 1,000-yard seasons with 13, but we are dealing with a guy who last year missed, I believe it was 9 games. Now, part of that was due to a collarbone issue, but every single year dating back, I want to say the last 3 years, Mike Evans has missed a couple of games due to hamstring injuries, which isn't good because soft tissue injuries are a prevalent thing on the Niners. They have a terrible training staff. So that's something that I think is going to affect them greatly. I think when I think of this signing, I have mostly good things to say about this signing, but when I think of this signing, that's immediately the con is this guy's old and he can be injury prone a little bit. And so that's kind of something. But at the same time, last year, the reason why he missed the year before that, I believe he missed 15 games, year before 16, year before that 17. So he's relatively been an uninjured player, and he injured his collarbone, and that's primarily why he missed most of last season. And so he's been before last season, he was a relatively healthy wide receiver. And I mean, it's an idea. Here's the thing. If the 49ers would have gone the first round, because I was saying, if they don't make a move for a wide receiver in free agency and a good one, because here's my thing about Romeo Doubs. He's not a number one wide receiver. The Niners would have had to go and my nameplate is way too big here. I don't know if we can. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting off track here. But I'm going to have to fix that because, when I dip down, I don't like how it's in front of my face. But basically, the Niners with this Mike Evans signing are saying, okay, we need a receiver because, like I said, back to Romeo Doubs really quickly. Romeo Doubs is not a number one wide receiver. He doesn't have that proven, like Mike Evans, one of the best wide receivers when he is healthy. He doesn't have that proven Romeo Doubs doesn't have that proven production like Mike Evans does. And so I would rather take a Mike Evans who struggles to misses a couple games each year than take a Romeo Doubs who hasn't had proven success in this league. And then if we're going on the draft side of things, I said before this, the Niners are, if they don't make a run at a receiver, they are going to have to address this position because it's that dire. They're going to have to address this position in the draft in the first round because, and I haven't actually really made a video because this last week I was breaking out a lot of wide receivers, but was kind of to make a video on wide receivers in the draft. I wanted to wait until free agency came and went. And so, but this last week when I was really taking a deep dive into some of the later round wide receivers, because I was thinking, okay, could the Niners get a starting wide receiver in round 2, right? A guy that you can plug in and he could probably be a starter for you. Is it really that stacked of a class? Like they did with Deebo Samuel a couple of years ago. I mean, they got him in the second round and they were immediately. DK Metcalf a couple of years went in the second round. That's how deep that class was or third round from Ole Miss. So my thing was, could the Niners get a starting wide receiver in the second or third round? Is this class really that stacked? Not really. You're looking at guys like Malachi Fields. You're looking at guys like I'm trying to think of who else. Malachi Fields, Jeremy Bernard. Who else? Second round guys. Brazel from Tennessee. Those later half, like 10 to 15, 7 to 12 range of ranking, 7 wide receivers ranking in the draft, 7 to 12 range. You're looking in that range where the second round range, third round range, and a lot of times, I mean, what I saw out of these guys, especially Brazel, doesn't have a complete route tree. Malachi Field, same thing. Like they're contested catch guys who can run fast, but they don't have a consistent route tree. And that's really what you need. If you're a receiver in Kyle Shanahan's system, you need to know that system. He's even said this a lot. He expects a lot out of his receivers. You need to know a lot if you're a receiver in the Kyle Shanahan system. So you can't this isn't a draft where you can just take a wide receiver in the second or third round and he can plug and play, because there is a lot required of Kyle Shanahan wide receivers. And so I'm just trying to get to so Brazel, he kind of reminds me of like a Jalen Hyatt a couple years ago. Chris Bell was another one. He would be ideal, but he's going to be a first-round wide receiver. Malachi Fields, like I said. Antonio Williams, a guy that met with the 49ers from Clemson. He's a slot receiver, but again, he's a guy who is kind of like a Ricky Pearsall. Questions about his height, his route running, again, like he's a limited wide receiver. So the Niners my point is with this whole Mike Evans thing is they were either going to draft a first round wide receiver like a Denzel Boston. I really like him. Like he's a guy who Brandon Ayuk situation. You could draft him and he probably could be a day one starter. So the Niners were either going to have to go day one in the draft or they were going to have to get a solid wide receiver. Mike Evans, when he's healthy, is the best receiver the Niners have had in a while. I mean, since Brandon Ayuk, and he is an ex-receiver. Great route runner, has enough speed. So I think this is overall a great move, especially when you look at the landscape. I know some people will tell you that this move, okay, he's old, he's injured, but yes, it is a little bit of a risk. At the same time, we were informed that he is signed $60 million 3 years, so average about 20, I think it's like 20.5 million because it's $61 million. But we were not informed, like the details of that contract that he signed to, a 3 year 61 million. Those details haven't come out yet. They usually come out a few days later. And so what I guarantee the Mike Evans contract is going to be, it's going to be a backloaded contract with a bunch of outs. There's probably going to be an out void years. There's going to be an out in either the first or second year. So I guarantee you, like, this is a 3 year deal. But again, we don't know the details of the 3 year deal. The Niners could be able to cut him next year and almost lose nothing. And so, yes, it looks like a lot of money, but at the same time, we really don't know yet. And that's why, like, I'm holding out hope that it's a team-friendly deal kind of thing. And then how does this help Brock Purdy and the overall team? And I kind of already laid this out, but this is a perfect Brock Purdy fit. I mean, like I said before, some people won't like this move. Okay. I heard somebody say with this move that the route tree that Chris Evans runs doesn't fit Brock Purdy's play style. And I think that is the biggest load of horseshit I've ever heard, because Mike Evans can run. That is his game. He is one of the best route runners the game has ever seen. Like, that is his game. Over the middle, whatever you want. Mike Evans can run it. That's why he's been in this league for so long. So I don't ever want to hear that argument again, frankly, on the Mike Evans side of things. But yeah, it's a good move overall. Obviously, the injuries are a concern. But if you're looking at the landscape of the draft, and this is why I didn't want to make a 49ers mock draft. I was like, I'm going to wait till next week. I'm going to wait till post free agency, because there's a lot the Niners could do. And yeah, so whoa. What happened? My camera went dark. What in the world happened with my, okay. I think you guys can still hear me, but I'm not sure what the heck happened to my face. My camera just completely stopped working. All good. Let me try to leave the stream really quickly and come back. My word.